Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 19 of Passion Project, the variety show that encourages anyone in the speedrun community to showcase the projects that they've been working on. My name is Amber Cyper, and I will be your host tonight, and I encourage everyone out there, if you have a speedrun project to showcase, you should submit it to the show. Whether it's your current favorite game to grind runs for, or it's a new category or game you've been routing out, maybe you have a task that you just finished, or you like randomizers and bingos, if you can name it, I want it on the show. So you can submit to the show using the !passion command in the chat and following the link to my submission form. Before we get started with the race that we have planned for tonight, we do have a couple of announcements. First and foremost, this Saturday and Sunday, we are raising money for Doctors Without Borders as a part of Twitch's Together for Good initiative. Come by twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick this weekend and check out our marathon. Use !schedule in Twitch chat to check out the runs. It's pretty stacked. And registration is live for Awesome Games Done Quick 2024. If you'd like to attend the event in person from January 14th to the 21st, go to gamesdonequick.com for more information on that. So tonight here on Passion Project, we have Blue Candy and Droopig. I just realized I've probably butchered your name, Drew, but we do have Blue Candy and Drew as we have one of the coziest runs I think I've ever had here on the show. This is an Animal Crossing City Folk Golden Net Race. I'm super excited for this, and I hope y'all are too. Thank you both for being here with me tonight. How are you doing?
Thank you, Amber. I'm doing great. I'm Blue Candy. How's it going, Drew?
Going great here, Andy. Thanks. Yeah, I'm Drew. Drew Pag. I'd kind of like Drew Pig a little more, but yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like a short A. My bad.
That's all right.
But no, seriously, thank you both for being here. I know it's past your bedtime, Drew, so you being here means a lot to me, and I'm actually super looking forward. Now, we've got this really neat overlay tonight. Why don't you all talk about that?
Yeah, Drew made this overlay, so huge props to him for that. But essentially what you're looking at here is right to our side, each of our webcams, we have what will become the town map. So you can look at where all the villagers are, all your neighbors, where Tom Nook's shop is in the town hall. And then right above us around the game is the bug tracker that will come and go thanks to Richard's great work and Drew's great work for creating these icons. In Golden Net in this game, which is what we'll be running, you catch one of every bug at least once, and you get the Golden Net from a new save file. So we will be marking the bugs off as we go, and we'll show that intermittently, thanks to, again, to Richard's great work, until we get down to 0, which will give us the Golden Net. So whichever ones we catch, it will match the icon that shows up.
All right. So I think I'm ready for this race to kick off. I'm really looking forward to hearing about how this works and how the flow of the run's gonna go. And also, I'm just looking forward to some cozy conversation when we're sitting through the months where we're hunting bugs for 15 minutes at a time. All right, so I think without any further ado, we can get this race kicking off. I'm gonna count down so that there's no worry about Discord delay or anything like that. So, are you both ready?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to count down from 5. So get this race started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck. Have fun.
Thank you, Amber. So this starts off. Yeah, thanks. This starts off really, really nice. You'll notice we're playing in the Japanese version. This is because the text in the Japanese version will save multiple minutes over the English version, so you have to bear with us with Japanese. But you'll still see all the beautiful villagers and be able to pick out your favorites if you do see them. So about 50 seconds in, we'll capture the map, and you'll see that pop up to our next to our webcams once again. And then, after we get into the game upon the map generation, which we will take the first map that comes to us, during a race we won't reset it, but when we're just going for PBs or so forth, we'll see how good the map is. If it's not good, then we'll just do this sequence at the start once again. Here comes the map.
So is there a preference for what you're looking for in a map?
Yeah, so the town hall is in the pink on my indicator here, and then Nooks is that leaf icon down there. We want one of the dark blue houses to be pretty close to Nooks. We also want the town hall to be close by if possible. That'll save us some running time back and forth when we do the chores for Tom Nook in order to get started on paying off our debt, which we will promptly forget and not care about after this because we are focused on bugs instead. In addition to that, we kind of want the houses to be pretty close to Tom Nook so that you don't have to run very far for the chores.
Mm-hmm.
So how does your map look, Drew?
Not great. Kind of all over the place.
Ooh,
I don't have a house
same.
super close to the shop. The village houses are a little far away, but it's not terrible. I've got a split river, which might help later. Might cause fewer trees to be in the town, but I've seen better. How about you?
This is mid for me as well. All of my villagers are pretty far away, but the house isn't too far from Nooks, so I'm doing fine, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot that goes into the map generation. The map is going to remain very important throughout the entire run because it's going to be, we're going to curate our town essentially. The entire town we're going to try to manipulate all the elements in it, like trees and stumps and flowers and so forth, in order to get all the bugs as efficiently as possible. And the first thing you probably notice is that Drew and I are doing this starting sequence in different seasons. So we really wanted to show that off. I'm doing it in Easter with the cherry blossom trees, and Drew is doing it in winter with Jingle on Christmas. Mm-hmm. The reason that happens, Drew, if you want to explain that, that'd be great.
Yeah, so a big part of this route is eventually collecting a lot of axes and cutting out a lot of trees that Andy mentioned to basically control where bugs can spawn to make things quicker and easier for us. And in this game, the shop goes through a few upgrades over time based on how much money you've spent there, how many things you've sold. And so we need to upgrade the shop one time in order for him to start selling axes. And in order to do that, we need to sell and buy 30,000 bells total. And there are a couple ways to do that. With Andy's Easter route, he's going to be digging up eggs, exchanging tickets for bunny series items, I think, and selling those for about 9,000 a piece. And I'm doing Christmas Eve with Jingle, where you basically run around town getting presents from him. And instead of keeping them, I'm going to sell them immediately. And they sell for about 12,500 each. And so they're basically just two different ways to get money quickly to upgrade the shop to sort of start the route, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so getting the money as fast as possible. You probably asked why we wouldn't start maybe with a time of day that would give us a lot of rare bugs in order to sell them for a lot of money. And that's simply because the way we'll be manipulating the town will make it much more optimal to catch those bugs all at the same time later, instead of trying to deal with all of the things that can spawn on trees at the same time and so forth. So it gets it's really finessed in the starting. I think it's pretty set in stone. We get dual Kiki.
Did you get her? I got her too.
I got Kiki. Yeah.
I was trying to hold in my excitement. Yeah.
We've been blessed.
Truly blessed here. Aside from that, my villagers aren't great, honestly. I've got one more to see, but
I like mine so far.
I'm a Mitzi fan, honestly. Besides Bob, everyone loves Bob, but I'm a Mitzi fan for the cat villagers.
There are a lot of great cats. I'll say that much.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, we heavily believe in good villagers blessing the run around these parts. Because pretty much everything you see here is governed by RNG. All of the bugs showing up will just be, weighted spawns essentially, and some of them are much rarer than others. So when we get them, we might pop off. And in order to do that, again, we're going to be manipulating all the things. Drew talked about the axes. There's two other core components to the run essentially that make it possible to finish a golden net run in and of itself. And those are the hybrid flower that will spawn the peacock butterfly, as well as the coconut that washes up on the beach randomly each time you progress a day forward. So without those two things, we cannot finish the run. and thus our runs will kind of be centered around them for the first hour or so until we can get all of those components to be able to finish the run. After that point, it's bug catching palooza pretty much. However, Drew likes to take it a little bit at a time, and he'll probably catch a few bugs in every segment. I like to do it all at once. I don't know. We have our differences.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that generally our route is pretty similar, but we do small things differently that sort of add up over time. And you may be able to tell, when those things happen, or we'll point them out. But yeah, the main thing being the day one to start. And Andy mentioned the peacock butterfly, and you probably noticed both of us collecting flowers as we go here to make that a little easier later. It actually only spawns on blue, black, or purple flowers, so there are other hybrid flowers in this game, like some orange and pink, really, that don't actually spawn it, so those ones are useless. So you'll probably see us collecting most of the same types of flowers, because I think there's only 8 combinations maybe in total that will give us a flower that we need. But we'll plant those later.
Yeah, so we stock up our inventory for now. It makes the Easter intro a little bit more difficult because we'll be digging, or I'll be digging up a lot of eggs, and that can get a little bit annoying when my inventory's half full of flowers already. But we can save a little bit of inventory space by putting stuff in our hair.
Yeah, I've noticed Drew's already got a flower in his mouth. Gotta get that finesse going.
Yeah, and yeah, when we get a hybrid flower, it's pretty common to wear it as well. One, for the swag, but also it's a little bit of safety. You don't want to accidentally sell your hybrid flower once you have it. That's disastrous. So it helps with that.
We've both been there.
Yeah. Selling it, destroying it, it can get bad. So we're both pretty cautious at this point.
Yeah, for context, the hybrid flower could show up instantly, or it could take us quite a few weeks for it to show up, where we water it every day or hope for rain to water it for us. That gives us a much greater chance of spawning a hybrid on any given day. And we will be changing the date a lot. That doesn't happen yet while we're doing the chores here. So this is the chores part of the run. Since it's in Japanese, you probably don't know what's happening, but we're doing chores for the villagers right now, and it's luck which one Omnook gives us each time. There'll be 3 or 4 total chores, plus the bulletin board that we write a message on at the town hall. And essentially, good luck is getting the villagers who are outside. There's always 3 of them outside, and there's also always 3 inside. I am 2 for 2 inside and also very far away, so my chores are going to be off.
Oh. I think I'm 2 for 2 outside. Both a little far, but not too bad. Yeah, this is basically an implicit tutorial for this game. So like the first chore, we delivered a furniture item, and we couldn't read it, but the villagers sort of explained to us how to place furniture in our house and how to move it and stuff like that. The second chore we just did was writing a letter to a villager. Just a tutorial on how to do that. And then this next one coming up will be a carpet. And they'll explain to us, the carpet, changes in the store every day, how to put it in your house, stuff like that. And then the fourth one is the watering can, which I guess is a tutorial for the tools, how to use the different tools in this game or what they can do. And finally, we'll be writing on the bulletin board, like Andy mentioned, which I guess is a feature. Not many people probably use it, but it's there.
The bulletin board tells you about the rainy and dry seasons, which will be using dates within those seasons in order to get rain more often or way less often, hopefully, because certain bugs will spawn in rain and certain will not. That's another thing we can do to manipulate, essentially, and we'll come across those rainy days and then actually come back to them later, so we kind of set aside some dates and make it work that way. So it's a very intricate run overall for what otherwise is kind of an unassuming speed game of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, you don't see too many Animal Crossing speedruns. You usually see things like challenge runs of obtaining every furniture or every item in the catalog or various other things like that. But like speedruns of Animal Crossing aren't as common as I'm led to believe.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
Drew kind of blew this category wide open a couple years ago. I think personally, he saw an opportunity in an otherwise very rarely ran category of Golden Net and blew it wide open and made the strategizing around City Folk in particular really accessible and also really optimized. Made it a really fun speedrun that wasn't just running around willy nilly and trying to chop down all the trees and trying to get rare things. Optimizing dates, town setups, and so forth. And you'll see all of the features pretty much inspired from him and what he learned as well watching others beforehand.
For sure, yeah, because I mean, I first started running this. This was the first game and category I ever ran. It was about 2.5 years ago now, a little over 2.5 years ago. And at that point, the community was pretty much entirely Japanese runners. Fairly small community, not super active, but there were, one or two guys that I started following one day on a whim and watching, and got really interested in it, and then tried it for myself, and then it kind of just grew from there. I got more and more interested, did more runs, sort of thought about the route a lot more, wrote it down. I've got this document, but and I think from that, like Andy mentioned, I think more people have tried this game, have gone into it. So that's been cool. But it's always growing, always changing still.
Yeah, I found Drew right at the start. Actually, he had just started it up, and just like he said on a whim, I was thinking about speedrunning this on a whim because what I speedrun is Nintendo games that are niche, kind of like this. They have really niche speedruns, and I played, and also games I played thousands of hours of, like this, and Kirby Air Ride and Mario Golf, and so I knew that I wanted this or something like it to be, essentially the next thing I wanted to try out and get really invested into.
Yeah, like, I just really love watching games pick up or like a run sort of like get rerouted or find, new things just because someone decided to come in and, show an interest in the game or in the category in question. So it just honestly doing amazing work and watching a community even grow by like one or two members can like change the course of a speed game for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, and I've really enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll continue to, but I just finished chores, Andy. I don't know about you.
Yep,
If you're still
finished. I just finished as well.
Okay. So yeah, now you'll see the first sort of diversion, where I'm running around town looking for Jingle, trying to get my presents, and Andy will be digging up eggs, hopefully, and getting tickets.
Of course, he didn't give me a shovel in the shop, so...
Oh no.
Absolute classic Tom Nook moment.
So yeah, I mean, the Easter route for day one is a little more consistent because every Easter there are 30 eggs in the town always, and 12 of them have tickets. So, you're less likely than not to get a ticket, but you will get 3 eventually. Whereas Jingle can show up in any acre in town, any 25 or up to 25. So it can be a little more variable, depending on how long it takes you to find him. But there is one thing you can do to get the second present, which I'll hopefully do here. If he shows up in an acre where there's a house, you can go in the house and out of the house to sort of reset his memory, I guess. Because normally you have to switch acres and also change your accessory on your face so that he doesn't recognize you anymore. That's sort of the gimmick. Unfortunately, you can't read it, but... So here I'm going to put on a flower. He did stay for me, which is nice. And also put on my BB shirt. And I can get my second present. So that was pretty fortunate to find him in an acre that I could go in and out like that. And it didn't take too long to find him, so that was nice.
So chat, how many eggs will I need to dig up to get 3 stickers? You heard Drew, 12 out of 30 of them will be stickers. So how many will I need to get 3? That's how much I need to get that 30,000 bell requirement. Let me see your guesses. It could go 3 for 3, could go 3 for 13. I have no idea. Let me see your guesses in chat. Someone will win, undoubtedly.
Someone's saying 6. A couple of people saying 6. 5,
All right.
13. There is no faith.
Please. Please, no. Oh, I got a blue candy. Very applicable. Another one.
8, 7, 7, 10, 11, 20. Oh, 30. There are
Please,
some
no.
folks with no faith.
Well, anything under 6 is out now, so if you believed in the run, I'm sorry. Didn't happen. The answer was 7. Congratulations. Did anyone guess 7? Pretty average.
All you 7s in
Not too
chat.
bad. All right. Yeah, it's a pretty good day 1 for Christmas. I mentioned the 30,000 bells. You also have to go forward 10 days total before it upgrades. So I guess it's 8 days. So I'm going to go plus 8 here, and then I'm going to reset. Because it takes them 2 days to actually upgrade the shop, basically to build it or whatever. That's what you'll see me doing here. And at that point, the Axe Gauntlet begins.
Yeah, Drew's probably about a minute ahead of me, I think, at this point. So you can see how if Easter goes really well and you just get those 3 eggs, you can kind of match it. But if Jingle shows up immediately, that is definitely the more optimal route. The give and take is that you can catch a few bugs in Easter if you manage to also buy the net. You get enough bells from the intro.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that is one downside. At this point, I don't have a net yet, which is a critical part of the golden net speedrun. So, and once you upgrade the store, there's actually a few additional tools that get into the rotation. The axe being one, I think the timer as well, and also the 3 silver tools, which are very rare. So overall, I think that the chance of getting a net, shovel, or watering can is less once you upgrade the store. Oh no, I messed up Rossetti skip.
I'll try to get
you.
it, but I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible at it.
I think I did what you did yesterday. The backwards
The
one,
inverse,
sorry. Yeah.
inverse Rossetti skip. So the reason we go forward like this and combo it instead of just resetting without saving is because Rossetti's going to show up anyways the first time you load in the game. After you save, he's going to give his initial spiel. So you want to just get this quick reset out of the way without that happening. There we go. And you'll notice neither of us have caught any bugs yet. I know this is a golden net speedrun where we catch all 64 bugs at least once in order to get it from a new game save file. But trust, we will get the net. It's just going to take some time to get the bugs going due to this intro part of the run. But the chores are actually pretty accessible in this game. Only taking like 15 to 20 minutes to get a run started, essentially. There's other installments in the Animal Crossing series. They all have golden net, and some of them, like New Horizons, take 35 minutes to get done with the first net and really get into it. And you also have to build Nook's shop and to get the ladder to go up stories. There's a lot to do. No chance at Rossetti skip.
Rip.
The Rossetti skip, if you skirt like that at the perfect time, Rossetti will be invisible, spawn all the way on the left side of the map. But he'll still be talking to you, so it's just a funny little cutscene without a Rossetti on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, accidentally
does nothing.
That one time. Yeah.
Yeah, it does nothing for the game, actually. Like, you don't want to plant there.
Keyframe slower, apparently. But yeah.
What in the world? Okay, this flower setup is terrible.
Yeah, so you see both of us probably planting flowers now. Now the gardening portion begins. Like Andy said, we're not really... The bugs aren't really the focus at the beginning in this route. We're basically trying to set up optimal conditions as fast as possible, so that it's going to require axes and the hybrid and the coconut. So that's really our focus at the beginning here.
Yeah, my problem that I'm running into is I have to go down a ramp to get to Nooks. Flowers are kind of just being spread along the way, and it's kind of funny.
Interesting. Yeah, I've got 2 bridges to cross. It's a little weird. Not terrible, though.
I got a lot of good flowers to start, though. Wow. Red pansies as well. We recently did some inspecting work to see that red pansies actually have the highest chance, just on their own, of getting one of the hybrid flowers that we need to catch the peacock butterfly, which is the purple, black, or blue hybrid flowers in particular. But red pansies do not spawn as often in the starting map. All the acres you can get at the start of a town when it's generated. Red pansies are much fewer compared to white roses and black cosmos, which will give purple roses, or red cosmos rather, which will give black cosmos.
We've gone into the weeds, so to speak, on flower breeding.
Yeah. I mean, like Andy mentioned earlier, if you've played like New Horizons or some of the later games, you'll think we're crazy maybe. Because, in New Horizons for sure, the hybrids are pretty trivial.
Yeah.
And, they'll overrun your town pretty quickly. But in this game and in this speedrun, it's a real struggle sometimes. Because a lot of runs, it'll be the only thing you need, and it just won't show up, and it just walls you day after day. It drives me to do things like, look into the game data to try to find something, anything. Unfortunately, I did find something, which is great. A little late, but it's something.
Yeah, that was really recent. I mean, it just goes to show how this is still a very, it's still an evolving speedrun. We've done all sorts of wild things, like maybe Theorycraft getting the golden axe early in this run so that you can always chop down every tree. In this game, only axes break in terms of tool durability, nothing else breaks. So we only have to worry about getting a bunch of axes to chop down all the trees and manage the bug spawns efficiently that way. And getting the golden axe requires a ridiculous amount of luck. The silver axe also works, so we could go for a 3 out of 64 chance, essentially, each day once we unlock the fountain. But, it's, that would just be adding a layer to it, essentially. We haven't taken it up for a reason.
Yeah, it's just... I mean, there's enough RG in this category as is, and adding that would be quite a task. But you'll see I just caught the first bug of the run, 23 minutes in, which is nice. We're going to be doing the same thing here, going to late June for the Firefly, and then early July in the morning hours to basically look for rain days. In this game, and probably other games too, early July, late June have an increased chance for rain. And it really saves some time not having to water flowers.
And I got rain on both of my late June days.
Oh. Yeah, sometimes too much rain can be a problem too, like Andy was saying. Because in June, the Firefly is all you really need at the beginning, but it's not going to show up in the rain. So it's sort of a give and take there.
Yep, so I now have something I have to remember to go back to later and get. So if you don't get the Firefly on that segment there, it's actually just an extra date change. And of course, we're trying to minimize the amount of date changes that we do. That's the best possible thing, is to incur the least amount of these loading sequences as possible. Going in and out of the shop, having to load another day and change the date. So the route is also kind of sequenced around that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, the active goal right now is to get axes, but we are sort of doing passive things as well. With the rain,
Nope, you're good. You're good. You are here.
So the axes are about a 3 in 7 chance every day to get from the shop. That's essentially what we're going for. Yeah, if a 3 out of 7 chance goes really well for us, we'll see 8 or 9 axes out of 12 attempts at the shop, and then If it doesn't go that well for us, then instead we'll be looking at maybe 20 days going forward. And there is an upper limit to how many days we can go forward. There's a sort of a net that we need to not hit that net. Essentially, what happens is that the Rafflesia will spawn. The Rafflesia is a giant flower. The giant flower that it takes all of your bug spawns away, turns them all into flies, and it will have a very high weighted priority for flies to spawn. If the Rafflesia flower spawns, it's because you have too many weeds in your town. A lot of casuals are probably familiar with that if they've ever time traveled or come back to their save after a really long time. We do have the chance to spawn that in actually in this run, so we need to be careful about how much time traveling we do. But we also need to do enough time traveling to get to all the seasons, all the months, and times of day where things can spawn. And if we do get a Rafflesia, there is a way to get around it. We just have to pick enough weeds, essentially, to cause it to wilt the next day. But there are also strats that we can go forward in the rain. In the rain, the Rafflesia won't be a problem. We can catch anything we have left that we need to catch in the rain without a problem. But if there's something that requires there to not be a rainy day going on, then the Rafflesia is very bad. Very bad.
Mm-hmm.
So you can think of the restraint of the run in that way, that we're looking to get all of these major components of axes to show up in Nook's shop, the hybrid flower going forward day by day, and the coconut to wash up on the beach for all the bugs that require those components to show up. Drew looking good there again. Very nice.
Hope so. Yeah, that was fun. Disconnection. But yeah, we're back.
We are back in business.
Yeah, how are your axes looking so far? I'm at 2 for 5 right now.
I am 1 for 6.
Oh.
And 1 for 6. No hybrid flower yet. I'm far away from the beach, so no coconut checks for me either. So this is going to be pretty straightforward. Not a single bug caught. 27 minutes in by yours truly, looking like a great golden net speed run. But trust me, it'll come together.
Mm.
I do have a lot of rain, which is good.
That's nice. Yeah, I've got a couple days.
My flowers aren't doing very much of anything though. Marathon safety in this category kind of looks like getting a bunch more flowers than you typically would in order to get the hybrid faster. However, if I am not going to get any axes from Nook, then I am not really concerned about that right now. I'm also, the more day checks that I have to do, the more likely I am to have a coconut somewhere on the beach. Once it washes up, we're not concerned about it washing away. It will be there permanently. It just has to spawn in once, and we're good. We can check it whenever. And also, when we're talking about all the axes, since there is axe durability in this game, we're looking to get anywhere from like 7 to 11 axes, essentially, in order to efficiently or fully manage the town layout with all the trees in it. So we need, the magic number is probably 8. That's what I usually stick to. And I see if those 8 axes perform really well, they have 1 chance to break per tree, and they have 3 total durability strikes. Once they break 3 times, they're out. So that's kind of how we'll be working with the axes, hoping that they last for many trees. I had a run the other day that did it all in 6, which I think is the lowest count for anybody doing the full town clear, essentially.
Really?
Oh, nice. Let's go. Okay, got my hybrid.
Purple.
Nice. Pansies?
I also have a banded purple roses.
Oh, nice. I have a
I
bob.
also have a banded.
That's my prize.
What the heck? Oh no, don't go in the water. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Where's my river? Where's my bridge? This banded dragonfly does not want to be caught. I have no idea what happened there with that first swing. Don't pay attention to that. Alright, my first bug is a banded dragonfly. Pretty good, because those can be somewhat annoying to show up at some point. Check the river here for a diving beetle as well. So yeah, when we're doing this, we're essentially managing everything we can. We're looking at all the different sources for bugs to spawn. They could spawn in the water, in the air, on flowers, underground. You name it. So I have my hybrid now, which means I will. I'm going to transition from looking through the early morning hours to the late night. It's less likely to be raining in the late night hours compared to the morning in this early July rainy season. But we can get a lot more rare bugs and also some that wall the run, like the tarantula scorpion and the oak silk moth, are some of them that are specific to these hours that would be really nice to show up. So I'm pretty happy with my hybrid flower there. I wish Drew luck with his showing up.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I don't have too many flowers right now. I might want to get some more. I only have 2 rain days to go back to, because that's one sort of strategy, and you kind of mentioned earlier. In this game with the weather, you can sort of abuse it, because once you load into the town on a certain day and a certain hour, the weather will be the same if you go back to that same day and hour. And that's useful for the run, because if you have rain days in consecutive days or within 2 days of each other, you can sort of repeat those rain days to most efficiently water your flowers without having to actually use the can, which saves time for sure. More time as you have more flowers, but it gets a little tricky if you don't have a coconut. Going backwards, you have fewer chances for that. So it's a little risky if you don't have that.
It's cool that you can improvise like that, though. This run offers a ton of areas to improvise based on what shows up and what you catch and what you need remaining. You can do things most efficiently with a large knowledge bank like that. And it kind of all comes together very smoothly, and it feels really good. It feels really satisfying when everything kind of just works in this run. That's one of the reasons I like Animal Crossing speedruns so much. So I got the double hybrid. Of course I did.
Oh?
Yeah, the red pansies came through.
I love the pansies.
I gotta wear them both for a symbol of pride a little bit here. Pretty happy with it. But at the same time, I'm 1 for 9 axes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the opposite. I think I have 5 or 6. No, probably just 5.
Yeah, someone's asking, what does the golden net do? I know that in the original Animal Crossing, it has a larger net size, so basically a bigger net to catch bugs with, so bigger range. I don't know if that's true in this one, but yeah, I assume it is.
Yeah, larger range, larger catch radius, I think, very slightly. Same with the silver net that can show up randomly in the shop as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also someone's asking if the runners are handling their own trackers. Yes, they are. This is engineered by Google Sheets, which is actually really, really neat because this tracker is very, very slick looking, and you wouldn't be able to tell it's a spreadsheet. So I think it's actually really cool.
Thank you for reminding me about that. I was so hyped about my hybrid flowers that I actually forgot to mark the banded dragonfly. Perfect reminder. And I am stylish with these double hybrids. Looking really good.
Someone's saying this is reminding me of my nostalgia for Wild World. And yeah, I played a ton of Wild World and a ton of the GameCube Animal Crossing growing up. I got this game on the Wii, and when I did get it, I was like, this is just Wild World with a more awkward controller. But or like a higher res Wild World, but maybe if I came back to it as an adult, I'd probably feel differently because I have a lot of nostalgia for like the GameCube one still, where villagers were extremely rude all of the time.
Yeah, it is a little bit redundant to get the golden net and not need to catch anything else. I mean, you can catch things for money, but I just read that one in chat. That one struck me instantly. I was like, oh man.
Oh yeah, I mean, they're not wrong.
Yeah, go ahead, Drew.
Well, I just got a flea on my neighbor.
Oh, no.
So that's really, really good.
Unbelievable.
That's maybe the worst bug to have last in the game. So that's really great.
Yeah, I'm gonna need your blessings, chat. That's really bad for me. The flea is something that is, for some reason, just it is just so bad in Animal Crossing and Golden Net speedruns. It is something that shows up on your villager randomly, and you probably see it as a pest and a really annoying thing, or just a really whatever blah thing. But in Golden Net speedrunning, the flea is the I don't even know what to call it. It's the enemy, number one enemy.
Public enemy number one, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, weird thing in this game. Did you just say that it can't show up on the villager unless you talk to them? Fun fact.
I didn't say that. Yeah, I didn't say that.
So if you see us talking to new villagers, it's not just for fun or to see what they have to say. It's so that the flea can spawn on them at some point.
Yep, I have to go around and do that. I usually do that when I chop down all the trees, but late at night, a lot of people are inside. Oh, a scorpion just decided to show up for me. Very scary. These bugs are dangerous, and it's right next to that signpost, so I just don't know what to do with myself. If this thing aggroes me, essentially, it will sting me and despawn. I will also despawn. IRL. Okay, cool. Alright. One random scorpion and a hybrid versus the flea. Wonder which one will win out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the interesting thing that you mentioned. Every run is different. The map is different. The bugs you get are different. Even if we do the same order of things, different stuff can show up at a lot of different times. So the adaptation and on-the-fly routing is really interesting. It can be really hard to compare, two runs, but it's also pretty exciting, I think. A lot of different outcomes here.
There you go. I remembered to mark that one. Thank you guys for keeping me on my toes here. Alright, so I'm up to 4 axes out of 14 days, so my rate's picking up a little bit. Again, I'm looking for about 7 or 8 axes before I go around and chop a bunch of trees at once. Ideally, I think it's ideal to just get all the axes in your inventory and do one fell swoop. Because, at that point, you kind of just hope you have the coconut. But if you go forward again after you chop down the trees, all the bees will respawn, all the wasps will respawn if you know them that way. And whenever they sting you, that's going to lose a lot of time because there's 5 of them every day you go forward, if you have enough trees to spawn them, that is. So that's one reason why you've seen Drew maybe running around catching quite a few bugs. He's gotten 10 and I've gotten 2, but we're still essentially in the same chunk of luck so far, except for the flea.
Yeah, because I mean, we were kind of talking before. You can try to thread the needle with some of these things. Because in theory, the more trees you cut down, the fewer trees there are to spawn bugs. The easier it should be to have tree things show up, stuff like that. But there are certain other things at play, like the bees. Axe durability. If your axe breaks and you're halfway through a tree, it's going to reset the next day, stuff like that. A lot to consider, I guess. But yeah, I'm currently running around collecting more flowers because I really want this hybrid. I have, I think, 5 axes total, probably in fewer days since I'm running around. I've cut some trees down, but pretty good luck on that so far.
I envy you. I'm looking at 4 out of 16. So again, that 3 out of 7 average chance for an axe to show up. It's a 42% chance. And I'm sitting at a 25% axe rate so far. So yeah, and I'm not too concerned with this because this is just making me feel more confident that I've got the coconut to plant. It's shown up at the beach by this point. But I've also gone forward a whole month before without the coconut showing up at all. So, you see extremes, standard deviations apart from what you'd expect at doing these runs, and that's always what makes it fun, and the unknown essentially makes it fun as well. Plus the charm. The charm for a late Wednesday night Animal Crossing City Folk speedrun. Can't beat it, as a lot of people in chat would say right now. Can't beat it.
Hey, grease is nice. Yeah, I don't have a coconut yet either. It's a little concerning. I would probably, I don't know what you'd say, maybe like a 5 to 10% chance each day for the coconuts to show up is what it feels like.
I actually have no anecdotal evidence for that at all because I just never checked the beach. I just keep going. I mean,
Yeah, no,
I just
that's
keep
fair.
going and hope. I've written down my rainy days actually, so I don't forget them. Somehow I can remember all the Japanese villager names, despite not being very well practiced with Japanese. But the rainy days are going to fall right out of my memory, so. I know some people who take notes on like their entire run in these loading scenes.
Yeah, there are plenty of those. I only have 2 rainy days so far, so it's not too hard for me to remember. Not yet.
Mm-hmm. Actually, the Wii dates go to 2035, I believe, for those asking in chat about that. We can go as far forward as 2035 with the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I started in Easter 2029 for mine, so we're well in the future. But I'll probably still pull this game out 6 years from now. I think I'd actually play this on the correct day.
Someone's brought up that the Japanese version is like, wait, it goes past year 2025, and their memory is that the North American version that they've played only goes up to 2025. And I'm trying to find any information on that, because I know that the GameCube one also had a limit.
Yeah, that was the message I saw as well. It is 2035. I know that because it's used in Golden Axe speedruns. You go all the way forward to get the maximum interest from the bank, and then you go backward and then forward and backward and forward in order to get enough bells quickly. Yeah, so you go all the way to 2035. Oh yeah, what's your guys' favorite bug? I guess in any Animal Crossing game, but also in this one, since we have the tracker up, you can see you have 64 bug icons to pick from if you don't remember the name of it. Just describe it. Personally, I am a fan of the tarantula. I am an extreme arachnophobe, so it's very cathartic, I would say, to be able to catch those nasty tarantulas in this game and sell them.
I was seeing a tarantula for the first time in Wild World and just freaking out because I am also a big arachnophobe. And I was like, it looks gross. And just like, they just scared me a lot when I was growing up. So like, I still don't like seeing the tarantulas or the scorpions in game.
Yeah, in that game especially. I think I have to go birdwing. Just a big, beautiful butterfly, really.
Queen Alexandria. Alexandria.
Yeah, and she is one of the big bosses in this run, as you'll probably see later.
Yeah.
But despite that, she's great.
The turquoise butterfly is the emperor butterfly. Yeah, seeing some good answers. A lot of fans of the palm beetles, understandably.
The money makers.
Yep. Up to 6 axes now. I'm almost ready to go. Yeah, this is the getting ready part of the run, and then once we have enough axes, we kind of just go as long as we have the coconut. So it's going to get very intense. We like to call this next segment deforestation. Unfortunately, rendering the town's atmosphere, environment pretty bad to live in, pretty unsightly, I would say.
For sure.
Still doing pretty terribly on axes, though. I'm on day 21. Give it up for day 21.
Give it up for day 21.
Yeah, I think I'm 5 of like 10, maybe. It's actually not bad. I'm not going forward many days, I guess, yet.
Yeah, I'm seeing like a very big difference in y'all's strats and routes because Drew is over here at 49 out of 64 remaining. And meanwhile, Blue Candy over here with 62 bugs remaining. But this is
I'm not worried.
This is definitely a difference in approach because I assume your run probably picks up a lot of these bugs in the middle of the run while you're in the middle of this slow process. Is that right? Am I hoping I'm right here?
Yeah, there will be a few days where I catch 5 bugs, a few days where I catch maybe up to 15 one day with like 15 of them. So
Mhm.
it'll all come together. In fact, the only thing that like is concerning to me so far, to clarify on the difference between us, is the fact that Drew has the flea. That is the only bug I am concerned with at the moment. So nothing else actually worries me, honestly. It's I would say it's very close, despite those, except for that one bug, despite those large differences that are visually apparent.
Yeah, there will be a sort of turning point for each of us eventually where, more so for Andy, but a lot of stuff will get checked off in pretty quick succession. Yes, I mean, certain things, obviously they're like rarity tiers, I would say. Some things are like super rare, some things are uncommon, some things are pretty common. And there are a lot of bugs, 64 total. So sometimes a lot of those sort of uncommon ones in the middle that you wouldn't think would be an issue, but on any given run, one of them can, really give you some problems if they choose to. So it's always interesting to see which ones those are. Hopefully none, but
Yeah, and I'll bring it back up since I've gone forward all the way to July 19th now. There is that upper cap to this run. There is like the most time you can go forward, essentially. You don't want to go forward too much, and because that will occur the Rafflesia flower, which will make it nearly impossible to catch any bugs once it's shown up, and we have to get rid of it. That's going to incur a couple of minutes of time lost picking enough weeds for it to wilt. Okay, Oak Silk Moth in this segment is really good. This is one of the only bugs that kind of is at an odd spawn time and doesn't really coalesce with the rest of the route. So getting this one done early, the Oak Silk, is very nice. And also the Giant Beetle, which is one of the ones that can show up rather rarely due to its large price tag of 10,000 bells. So I'm rich.
Someone's asking, where do the bug trackers go? We are, for the sake of not having tiny game feeds the whole time, we are showing them and hiding them every so often. Our producer, Richard, behind the scenes, is in control of that. And we'll show things every so often, usually when someone is saving or transitioning to another date. And another question in chat, that someone's saying, did Blue Candy say the GameCube version was the one that stopped at 2025? I'm not sure if that was said, but I do know that the GameCube one stops at, now that I'm looking at it, the in-game clock can go to December 31st, 2030. Wild World can go all the way to 2099, 2035 for City Folk, and 2050 for New Leaf. And 2060 is the farthest date that New Horizons can deal with.
Yeah, I actually wasn't familiar with any of the other games. We don't need to go forward to 2060 in New Horizons, which is the other golden net that I run or have ran in the past. I really enjoy that one too, but it is maybe doubly as long as this one is right about. So it can take a good 3.5 hours or so. Oh yeah, that's something we could talk about too. Is you see the estimate is actually 2.5 hours right next to me right here. Drew's world record is a 1:36, 1 hour 36, and I'm coming up in second place on the leaderboard, which is pretty stringent, very competitive. At 1:42. So you see the estimate is almost an hour after the world record, and most of our no reset runs, our single attempts, kind of land right in that spot. So. That's why we're looking at that time in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I finally have 8 axes so that I can go around and start chopping down some trees for your enjoyment, chat.
That tree chopping ASMR.
Yeah. It is incredibly soothing, actually. When you get in the rhythm of, 3 swings to cut one and on to the next one, it feels good. To do it at least. And I think it feels pretty good to, hear it too. But you may have just seen I talked to Joan, the turnip selling boar, I think, to buy a couple turnips. Because we do need to get a couple bugs from those. Primarily the ant and the fly are the two. You can get the ant from candy. If you leave an extra candy on the ground, you can get the fly from the Rafflesia, technically, as well as trash if you fish it out of the ocean. But normally we just buy turnips to make it consistent and a bit easier.
Really hoping for this coconut to show up. Oh boy, it's not on this side, so it's got to be on the other one where I'm going to be locked into coconut farming. Again, I've gone forward like 23 days at this point. That's a really high likelihood for the coconut to show up, just anecdotally thinking, so my hope is that it's there. I did get a really nice emperor butterfly, though. Nice. That is really good. That.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared to check for coconut again because I didn't see one the first time, which wasn't too many days forward, but I don't know.
I am going to have to set up on the other side. I did not leave myself enough trees. So in all of our tree chopping, we are actually looking to set up in an efficient spot for regular trees to exist and also palm trees to exist in a sort of a line. There's a couple of different variations that will work really well for spawning bugs efficiently. I did not leave myself enough trees on this side, only 5 regular ones. I'm going to set up on the other side. So these are all things that we're kind of thinking about when we're setting up trees now, and also when we grab flowers and clean up the map later on. The last time we go forward a day, hopefully, would be, a bunch of flower cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
So how we lay those out, we have our differences in laying those out too. You'll see differences between how Drew and I do that. Okay. Oh boy, it's coming down to it. Coconuts? Wow.
No coconuts.
No coconut. Oh boy. That is really bad. Not sure what I'm going to do about that, actually. I'm going to have to keep going forward. So this is where it gets a little scary, because I don't usually go forward more than like 25 days during no reset runs. Now all of a sudden I'm going forward, I'm on 23 and I don't have a coconut yet. Yeah, and that Rafflesia flower is kind of staring me down at the moment, saying, yep, I'm going to get you. So I am concerned as it stands. That is my current status, concerned. It does show up, though. It's not the end of the run. Not at all. It's going to be a fun weed picking session.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is really unlikely to go that far without it. I feel like you should be all right. I mean, it's frame of reference. I mean, I've gone into August, looking for it as well. Because at that point, you'll probably get to a point, right, where pretty much all the trees are down. And you'll be in pretty good bug spawning condition while looking for it. So, stuff can show up. So that's another pretty, significant deviation, I guess, from the, standard route, but it's just something else you have to adapt to, unfortunately. One of the many RNG checks in this run.
Mm-hmm. Yep, so it's not all bad. I'm thinking I might go back to the morning hours to try to go for the rare butterflies, perhaps. Or I could get a tarantula as well to complete my set of 2 arachnids, my pair. There's multiple things I could do as well. These, yeah.
Yeah, fortunately.
Unreal.
Go ahead.
I just can't believe I didn't find a coconut.
I mean, I can't believe it either. Fortunately, I found one on my second attempt. Still have no hybrid though. And you may have noticed I was buying some furniture items. Because sometimes what you can do is upgrade the store a second time, actually. Which requires 80,000 bells bought and sold total after you've upgraded it once. And that can be good because in the next upgrade, he sells 4 tools per day instead of 3. So you essentially get a higher chance at an axe every day, which, depending on your axe luck, the first 20 or so days can really help. In this case, I think I only have 6 total. So I'm gonna try to go for that. You may have noticed I caught a second giant stag when I already had one because it sells for a lot of money. And I had caught a rainbow stag as well, which sells for 10K. So I'm in a pretty good spot. I think if I buy one more arcade machine, I think I should be all set. So this does take some time, but it's a little safe, you could say. Giving myself better axe chances later when I'm gonna need at least 4 more at this point. Potentially 5.
Game has a huge sense of humor for me. I was doing safe tree chopping strats for a spider, and then I stopped doing it, and the tree I stopped doing it on had a spider. It's unreal. So spiders are bugs 1 to 2 that can show up when you shake a tree or you chop it down in this case, and you cannot react to the spider showing up if you're chopping the tree as fast as possible. So sometimes you'll see me, wait a second before finishing chopping the tree, or I'll do 2 at once. And that time, yep, it got me. Right when I lapsed, it was like, yep, I'm going to show up now. I'm like, dang. Big sense of humor from the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's the type of run you play it long enough and you just convince yourself that it knows. It knows a lot about what you want, what you need, and it just refuses to give it to you a lot of the times. Or it dangles it in front of you and then pulls it away at the last moment. But fortunately, Spider shows up a lot later.
Yeah, I believe it's like spider, and there's I forgot the name of it, but it's like the like cocoon thing, or is that
the bagworm? The
bagworm. Thank you.
Yeah, I think in this game that's all. Maybe in all games that's all for the tree in the tree bugs. But yeah, again, you were saying there's quite a few types. Primarily on the trees, on flowers, flying around flowers. There's some in the trees. There's some in the rocks. Some from turnips. Some from the water. Oh, he's already upgraded. But yeah, so I the other requirement for the second upgrade is 20 days going forward. So I must be on the 19th to the 20th right now to have reached that already. That's good. That means I sold enough. So the next day you'll see Nookway here with 4 items or 4 tools in the shop, which will help. That's actually only the 14th. I'm surprised. The downside to this is that the Nookway has different hours, more restrictive hours, unfortunately. I think it opens at 8 and closes at 10, whereas the second shop opens at 7 and closes at midnight, which is, preferable to have wider hours because we go to both of those times eventually, but just something to keep in mind.
My axes are really good. They're really good.
Really? Oh, durability-wise? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've only broken 5 or 6, and I'm almost done.
Wow.
Kind of incredible.
That's quite good.
Also, if you guys ever see a bug that I didn't mark, I will get to the bugs that I did catch at the end of the day. I just don't have time to... I don't have three arms to do it with here.
Imagine the things that we could achieve in speedrunning if we had an extra arm.
Yep.
Would be nice.
Not me.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the control scheme of this game earlier.
Yeah.
And I was kind of the same way when I was younger. Having used the pointer for so many things, mainly the menu, it's a requirement for your inventory. And it is really annoying. Or at least it was playing this casually, and it was an adjustment for the speedrun, but then once you get used to it, I really like it. It opens up a lot. You can do a lot of things fast.
Oh yeah,
Or,
I can
faster
imagine
with it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I imagine it's similar to like if you were speedrunning New Leaf or if you were speedrunning Wild World, being able to manipulate the menus with the stylus with the touchscreen. So I imagine it's a very similar sort of thing. I was just very lazy as a kid and just really liked laying down in bed and playing games. So having to
Oh yeah,
point
yeah.
angle my wrist really weirdly at the TV to point at the sensor bar was like always a thing I didn't really like doing as a kid, but um if I could have a like more GameCube style control scheme for this game, I probably would have played a lot more of it, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty common too. Because I mean, I don't know why, but there is no option. It's either the Wiimote or nothing. So it's a
Yeah.
little strange, but I
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
you think they'd let you use the like the classic controller or something.
Well, I actually didn't get it done in 8 axis. I'll be perfect time to go forward for more. Why not? Alright, so I still need the coconut. Mine is a very weird setup at the moment. Honestly, not too happy with that. Not having the coconut there is really bad, but once I'm done with this segment, also I'm gonna go to the daytime, yeah. That's good to me. Once I'm done with this segment, then next up will be September for me, which I think Drew has already gone through to September. Have you? Or are you still just going for the hybrid?
Yeah, I still need the hybrid, so I'm kind of
Okay.
stuck. Yeah.
Yeah, you're stuck. I'm stuck here because of the coconut. You're stuck there because of the hybrid. It is
The
funny
minute-
how it diverges, but it's very similar.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's kind of what we were hoping would show up too in this race. We want it to be separate, but also really close.
Mhm. So, and it is still close, I would say, for sure. Still scary, though, for sure. Yeah, it's basically the axes, the hybrid, and the coconut as the early walls. Axes less so, 'cause, I mean, they'll show up eventually, but no coconut, no hybrid can be very scary. Yeah, I think I have enough axes now to chop down, so I'm going to do some deforestation. If I get a hybrid today, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'll probably have to collect more flowers. I'm not sure.
Oh, there is a cool difference as well between the peripherals we use for the run. So I use the Wiimote for everything, and Drew actually uses a USB keyboard plugged into the Wii in order to type things into whatever menu faster. So
Wait,
I don't use the USB keyboard. Yeah, you can do that. You can type really fast with it online.
That's so sick.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I did not know that. That is so cool.
Yeah, there are certainly levels to it. Because, yeah, I mean, we changed the date a lot. And you save a little time. A little easier on the wrist as well. You don't have to point and click, which is nice. Yeah, it gets pretty detailed. I mean, I guess we could talk about another category in this game that Andy mentioned earlier, Golden Axe, which actually requires Wii menu date changes to sort of abuse interest in the bank. And in that run, some people, myself included, use a classic controller for the Wii date menus because for some reason the A button on the classic controller works in that menu. So you can sort of double tap A on your Wiimote and A on the classic controller to change the date really fast if you want to. Scroll through the numbers, pretty quick. And it's very small time save, but it is kind of fun to, go as fast as you can. Do whatever you can to make it a little faster. But yeah, that's the only other instance where a different peripheral really helps that I can think of.
Yeah, you can type numbers in the date changing menu here. So where I'm using the pointer to quickly change the date like that, you can just type in 2 and 3. What did you find?
A blue pansy. That's so rare. I feel
Wow.
like that's really great though.
The double pansy. Well, I like it. I'm gonna use the purple pansy, I think, keep the purple rose. Although I do like the purple pansy in the hair, it's very stylish.
It is very nice.
Oh, the flea market's going. Can I get a flea from that?
I wish. I swear there's some... I want to believe there's just one day where, like, flea is a higher chance. I just have to believe it. Like, hard-coded in there, but... Probably just wishful thinking.
Fair enough. I did match you on the Agrias, by the way.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I guess... I can't really see your list. I do have a couple things that are nice to get early. A couple of those middling rarity ones. Jewel Beetle is actually pretty big. You can save a date change later. Orchid Mantis is pretty nice too. That one can be annoying.
You got both of those?
Yeah, I did get both of those.
Okay, now I'm a little more worried.
As I went, cause yeah, I've got some distance to the shop, and I did a lot of date changes, so that's sort of the trade-off. Because, like we said earlier, ideally you'd like the house to be pretty close to the shop, but if you're a little farther away, you do have more chances to see things as you go, which, is higher variance, but if you see some good things, it really helps in the long run. And
Indeed.
yeah, I've seen some good things, so that's pretty good.
I got everything I need. All the trees done except for one that I forgot next to a waterfall. Classic. But I still don't have the coconut yet, so... Well, I haven't checked yet. I have like 3 or 4 more checks going in. So I'm really hoping that it shows up here. I'm going forward more liberally because of that. I want the coconut to show up before I'm done here. Actually, I don't want it to. It has to. I very much want it to.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about earlier. This route is sort of the product of really pushing things, really trying to optimize as much as we can, and have like as many things as possible line up simultaneously. So, unfortunately, you do really need the coconut before you sort of continue, because the next few date changes are all going forward, and they're all times when you need to grow the coconut, because we both, I think, used 9 coconut trees in total, which requires 3 date changes going forward, right? Because you start with 1, and you have to go forward at least 4 days to grow the first tree. And then you get 2 coconuts from that tree, and you go forward 4 days to get 3 trees total. And then you plant 6 more coconuts from those trees to get to 9. And that's usually a good number for the coconut segment later.
I'm good on axes. I got my extra one to chop down on the palm trees just in case I get like an immediate break. And I found a late July thunderstorm. That's really unique. It also happened in our practice race that we did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about walking leaf right now. Alright, come on, coconut. Come on. So important that I get this. Oh, I got a jewel beetle. There's that at least. Wow, this is strange.
No, man.
I don't know why. Sometimes it just doesn't show up. I'm gonna pick up some coral, actually. Ooh, walking leaf, though. Okay. That's good. That bug.
Good.
Walking leaf is one of my largest enemies in this run, even though it's trivial, as Drew put it in our last race. Irked me a little bit, I would say.
If the conditions are right, yeah. To an extent. Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe this is the time to mention that there is another way to get a coconut.
Yeah.
If you... It might be the opposite gender. So if you're playing as the boy, if you send a letter to female villagers with a gift, they can send a gift back. And there's a small chance that it's a foreign fruit, or I guess any fruit. And that includes the coconut. So that is a possibility. There is a second option to get a coconut, but it's, arguably slower and less likely than just going forward. I think I tested it once and I found like a maybe 1 out of 50, 2 out of 50 maybe, something like that. So really, really low chance of getting that from a letter. Kind of a small sample, but it is possible.
I've cursed the chat, or maybe blessed the chat with a picture of the GameCube with the GameCube controller with the keyboard in the center of it that most folks used for Phantasy Star Online. But since we started talking about using USB keyboards in games, someone's like, "Yeah, my partner has a controller with a keyboard," and I was like, "It must be the GameCube one, right?" And they're like, "No, it's this Xbox one," and I'm like, "Oh, you need to see this."
Yeah, I don't know, because I mean, in the GameCube Animal Crossing, there are the codes that you can type in to get different items, and those are actually part of most of the speedruns in that game too, to some extent. But I don't actually know. I don't think that keyboard actually works for that, unfortunately. It would be nice if it did.
Yeah, I think you miss out on certain symbols from it, like. But maybe I'm wrong. Like this one, the picture I'm looking at has it in both English and Japanese, like symbols on it. So it has it has hiragana and English. So it's possible that it might work.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I've never had it. I've never been able to test it.
I really want to get my hands on one day. I collect really cursed controllers, and that's been at the top of my list for a long time.
What's your most cursed controller then? That sounds interesting.
Oh God, I might have to ask my partner if he can think of what my most cursed one is, but I know in terms of Nintendo controllers, the most cursed one I own is probably this, like, the Wave Racer, the N64 Wave Racer.
I don't know if I know that one.
Let me see if I can grab Wave Race. Let me see if I can find it. It's it's the Ultra Racer 64. Sorry, Wave Racer or Wave Race is the name of an actual game for N64. But the most cursed controller I probably own otherwise is the there was a Power Glove like controller that was released for both PS2 and N64. So I actually think I have both of those models. I think those might be my most cursed ones, and they're pretty awful.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess I don't have many controllers really, many cursed ones, unfortunately.
Oh no, my partner just typed in chat. My most cursed controller by a long shot is the Fisher-Price controller. It is it's the Fisher-Price Laugh and Learn game controller that is supposed to be a toy that has been modded to be a USB controller compatible with both PC and Switch, and it retains its functionality to light up and talk as you use it. So, wow. I forgot I have that. It's sitting right next to me.
There is one other thing that exists because of this game in particular, which is the Wii Speak. God. A very cursed mic, just so you can talk while you're in online lobbies in other people's or your own town that you're hosting. So, yeah, that was the time. I remember using that, actually. I was a user of the Wii Speak mic with this game over a decade ago. And I lived in California, so I had this really loud swamp cooler, which is how you cool down the house in a desert climate. You use a swamp cooler. It's really loud, so I just have the most choppy, distorted mic audio with my friends, and I don't know. It was a time. The time is an experience.
That's really funny. I actually had that. I used it one time. with some random guy, and I was just like, hi. He was like, hi, and that was it. So I didn't really take full advantage of it, but.
Oh man, I thought my run was gonna go forever. Thank goodness for the coconut.
You got it, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just finished the September 5 p.m. So Andy will be doing the same thing, basically.
Yep.
Going forward to grow the coconut and start taking out some of these kind of standalone segments where there's like 1 or 2 bugs we really need, where the trees being up don't matter as much. Andy probably has much fewer trees at this point, but
Yeah, I have none except for what I need. Yep.
So for me,
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm about to start September 5 p.m. That was all I was gonna say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as part of the route, these are just more axe checks, basically, if you need them, while catching some fairly common things.
That is a very cursed Fisher Price controller.
Yeah, I've posted them in the in the Discord channel for the show. That I own that. That is a thing that I own, and has become a meme among my friends, because I've definitely pulled it out on Discord, turned off my noise canceling so you could actually hear it, and you just it's certainly something. Let me curse chat with this.
Oh no.
Alright, chat, if you want to see what my Fisher Price controller looks like, you can also buy this online yourself. We are not affiliated or sponsored by Fisher Price, but you too could maybe mod this at some point in your life to be a real functioning controller and curse yourself and your friends with one of the worst controllers I have ever played Mario Kart 8 with.
What's the going rate for that right now? I'm curious.
Let me see, because I think I bought it off of Amazon. The worst part is it's not the first time I've bought one for someone to mod either. $7.69. If you wanted one right now, it's on sale, down from $10.99.
What a deal. Wow.
There is actually a tutorial out somewhere. Someone has posted it on Twitter somewhere, I imagine. There is a page that you can find that lists the equipment needed to mod one of these things to be a functioning controller. So, big little brother controller energy, yes. All right, chat. I need to ask y'all what kind of third-party controllers did you thrust upon your younger siblings or cousins when they came over for the holidays? Because there's definitely some stinkers out there.
None for me, actually. I've been pretty solely Nintendo throughout my entire childhood. I've never really deviated from Nintendo, so I'm pretty boring.
Yeah, Xbox 360, we had some Mad Cats, the classic.
Classical
different
Mad
NFL
Cats.
teams. Yeah.
I had some Mad Cats GameCube controllers.
Oh, really? I don't think I ever had one of those.
They're not very good. They're not terrible, but they're not very good. For some folks, there is for the Nintendo 64, there was this was the Power Glove controller style that also came in PlayStation 1 flavor. Let me post these to chat as well. That is a different one. Good. Yeah,
I got a bunch of Mad Cats. I got a bunch of Mad Cats memory cards. That was about it, though.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Wow, I have seen 3 red dragonflies. They're just everywhere. I don't know why.
Rare.
Yeah, I even got one in the evening, or 2 in the evening, 5 p.m. Oh, and something else you may have just lapsed over passively is that we plant the coconuts by digging up a previous stump that exists here. This guarantees that they're going to grow in these spots, but sometimes we just YOLO plant them and hope that they grow up. Oh, there's my grasshopper. Enjoy.
Yeah, I YOLO planted a couple. I got an extra one actually. That was weird. I'm sorry, but
No, it's fine. I'm happy now that I have it. Now it's just the flea.
I just found my second pitfall though, so that's rare as well. I
I
guess.
actually dug one up. Happy Easter. Here's a
That's
pitfall.
so funny.
At this point, I just want the violin, but I might actually leave.
Dang.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm over here in winter.
I swear that long locust looks like it just was slowly sliding down the cliff. I have no idea what was happening there. I'm gonna have to go back and review. It might have just been at a weird angle. I saw the violins and I had to catch those on the tree stump.
I mean, there are definitely some weird things that can happen with the slopes in this game. That's for sure. Yeah, this has been going all right. I got a couple axes from this upgraded store, so it's working out so far. There's the third, so that's nice. And a silver slingshot, that's rare.
Ooh.
No silver tools for me.
I think I gotta pick that up.
For posterity.
And display it outside to attract some bugs as well. Let's see. I got a centipede earlier, which is great. I just need a bagworm and a mole cricket here.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm about to enter the winter segment. So yeah, we're pretty close. We're pretty close together.
Yeah, this is yeah.
Yeah, if we can get a quick check on the tracker if we don't have it already. Drew's over here with half the bugs left to pick up in the run. 32 out of 64 remaining. And we got Blue Candy right behind with 38 out of 64. So we are progressing at a pretty good clip here.
And the weird one is the firefly between us and also the flea.
Oh, yeah.
And also, I'm about to find out after this if I went forward too many days to get the coconut, if I get that Rafflesia flower. That's going to put a few minutes behind, or it's going to put me a few minutes behind. We'll see if that's the case. I'm hoping not, but it will be on the next segment, not this one.
Oh, I got wisped.
Ooh.
Annoying ghost.
There's the pill bug.
Not the annoying one. The centipede is way rarer than the pill bug. But something weird with this game that I've noticed anecdotally is that usually the same rocks that have bugs in them already will be the rocks that have bugs in them again. So I usually stick to the same ones if they produce a bug. So it's just not a very good layout here. Mole crickets here. They're actually using like surround sound to see stereo sound to see where the mole cricket is.
No.
That is awkward. Can I get that before it falls up? Let's see. It might have despawned or fallen in the river. I hear it. I heard it. Now I don't. Well, that was dumb. I don't know what happened there, but this just decided to take a dive. That's okay. Those aren't too bad. I'm more worried about the dung beetle. To get that... Ooh, I heard a shooting star. Make a wish, chat.
Wish for the Fisher Price controller. Get it for Christmas.
Coming up.
There it is.
It is. There it is. There's the shooting star right there.
And this is just like the chill part of the run where we're like, wow, it's so nice. Oh, the triple. What? Triple shooting star. Dang. Wishes for everybody.
Ooh, that was 5 of them.
Yeah. It is a meteor shower. What did you forget?
you get like if you press A with no tool, right? You can actually make a wish, and then you get a present in the mail. Is that right? I'm trying to remember what happens in this game.
Yep, that's right. And then I don't know what the table is for all the items it could be, but it's a fairly significant amount, I think.
Oh, Octavian's here. That's rare. Yeah, weirdly enough, certain villages in this game do have like rarities, it seems. Which maybe isn't surprising, you know, for actually showing up in your town or not. But when you do as many runs as we have, you sort of, over time, build like a table of, oh, this guy's rare, this guy's not as rare, but a little interesting. Octavian's one of the rare ones, I think. Yeah, I'm struggling with the dung beetle and the mole cricket right now. I keep scaring it away by accident.
That's
double
gotta be the
bagworm in my
worst.
tree. So I'm actually going to catch both bagworms here because it gives me an extra spawn chance for a dung beetle whenever I do find it. I haven't found the snowball yet at all. The only thing I need is the centipede and dung beetle at this point. Oh, there it is. Well, that is really large, but I think it despawned. That's the worst. Yeah, there's no dung beetle. There's a dung beetle rolling that. It's definitely larger than usual snowball, but it just decided to despawn, I guess. Because that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, the spawns in this game are kind of weird. Where there's certainly some that spawn, you know, when you go in and out of a house. So you'll sometimes see us like reload the map that way, going in and out of a building or something. But it also seems like stuff can, or for sure stuff can spawn and despawn over time as you run around outside. So it's a little tricky, a little weird sometimes to try to optimize that, I guess, or, you know, take advantage of that the best you can. And I also have a mole cricket. Mole crickets can be annoying around the edges because you can actually hear them from the top when you're on the bottom, and vice versa. It just depends on, you know, your position, really. It can be a little annoying to find one when they're close to the edge. Normally I don't even try, but I don't have one yet, so I'm gonna take the time and hopefully find this one.
Wow, these rocks are very bad for some reason. They're so bad.
They're an awkward layout. They seem barren of bugs.
Yeah, like I haven't managed to get more than like 3 pill bugs to pop out of them. It's pretty abysmal rates. 4 pill bugs. This is what I was talking about with the centipede being a problem. Let's check for a dung beetle. Sometimes winter just isn't a problem at all. There's my dung beetle.
I just got mine myself.
Oh.
Yeah, the dung beetle in this game is tricky if you're used to New Horizons, because I'm pretty sure in that game you can just hit the snowball and pretty much catch it every time. But in this, you got to be really precise and basically just hit the dung beetle, because if you hit the snowball, it'll scare it away. So it's a little tighter. Luckily, I avoided that there. And I'm doing the final date change forward currently to June. And from here, I'll start cleaning up my flowers and managing them, basically. Because similar to the trees, if you can control your flowers and where they are, it controls where you know, those bugs can spawn, basically. And so that'll help us later. Unfortunately, I got some rain, so I'm going to have to change the date again.
The moment I get the centipede, I'm on the same date change that Drew is in the route. So this is this is really close.
It's surprisingly, to be this far in, yeah, that's I mean, so much can happen, or so much has happened already.
So I did hear a mole cricket on your end, but I assume you can get the mole cricket in more than just the winter months, and that's why you're just looking for your centipede.
Well, I actually caught one already.
Oh, you
I
did?
caught one
Oh,
next to
okay.
the beach. Yeah, I already found another one. And then right when I caught it, another one spawned in the same place. So this shouldn't have a bug in it. Yeah, so like it seems like the rocks with bugs. It's being consistent on this attempt. And apparently Drew didn't even know that. I expected him to know like all of the analytical side of things, but this has just been what I've noticed is that the same rocks always have they tend to have bugs in them. Wow, I can't get it. I can't get like hardly any of them to spawn anything. I don't know if I'm like missing a rock or. Yeah, this is the centipede though. The centipede is a problem child in the winter months.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Don't want another
annoying.
dung beetle. Okay, well, guess we're gonna deal with this. How many times do I have to go around the town? I'm gonna check these rocks one more time, but I don't think they're gonna spawn anything. They just aren't doing it this time. Yep, still nothing on those. Oh, there's also one on the Able sisters.
It is wild to me how much y'all have memorized with this run, and I assume you have some notes alongside?
Yeah, I look down occasionally at my notes. I don't usually look at notes for any particular run, but I have all the date changes on paper, actually, just in case. And I wrote down the rainy days, just in case I forget them if there's a lot of stuff in between that I end up having to do. Okay, wow, this is pretty terrible.
Still
this one centipede.
Centipede, man.
Yep. I lose multiple minutes to you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, it is one of those, like, you know, on the surface, a centipede is, you know, nothing. Your casual time, you probably find 10 of them, but, like, when you really want it in the run, it can be very troublesome. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a run where there's a lot going on at once, a lot to keep track of. But I think at this point, it's pretty linear, I would say, sequential. We just going forward day by day, getting what we need, and still varying based on what's left in the end. The cleanup at the end tends to get very different. But for now, we're still on the same track.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
All right, that was really annoying, but we got it. I'm gonna blame the shooting stars, actually. Sorry.
They've been, I guess, cursing the run then.
Yep. All right, this is the important date change for me. It wasn't too much of a risk for Drew to go forward to June here, but I have gone a lot of days forward on this attempt, so I'm going to hold my breath that once I go to June here that there are bugs just like spawning. Because if I don't see any bugs, everything is probably going to be a fly on the Rafflesia. I do need that to be morning time. Oh. And so Rover is very surprised at how long it's been since we last talked.
Yeah, we both have the bedhead at this point as well.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that won't change.
But I have the bedhead with the dual hybrid, so that's kind of cool.
Kind of nice.
All right, where are the bugs? Please show up. I don't see anything yet. Uh-oh. Oh, there's one. Oh, all right, common butterfly, thank you. You've brought me security.
Yeah, I mean, the raffle is just kind of weird in this game. With this route, too, really. There's a distinction between, like, the number of times you go forward and the total days, I guess. But in most cases, if you stick to this route, what we've kind of settled on, it usually works. But I think it can also vary by town based on, you know, the number of weeds can be different, the number of flowers can be different, stuff like that can all affect it, I believe. That's good. Yeah, so I've been destroying some flowers. I'm collecting all my flowers here because when we get to the tree segment, it'll be raining, and it basically controls where the snails will be. And it makes it easier to just scare those away quickly and, generate more tree spawns, basically.
Yep, I'm doing the exact same thing at the moment.
And at this point, I mean, I do need some things in June still. They're normally not too difficult. Peacock butterfly, tiger butterfly would be nice. It should be very easy. And violin too. So I could stay here and try to get those or just come back later. I think I might come back later.
Double agrias for me.
Oh.
Well, that was my second one, that is.
Because, yeah, I'm going to go back. So this is where the rain days, like I talked about earlier, come into play. I can go back to my exact day and time at 7 a.m. where I know there's rain and I'll have rain. And that'll help me clean up a lot of these tree things pretty quickly, hopefully. So for me, it was July 1st.
Same. Yeah.
That's
also the
nice.
2 days before that, so I can get the firefly.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Good.
I want the scarab and the lanternfly on the tree and the spider in the tree. And then I want to get rid of those trees to make the coconut stuff easier.
I just scared away a regular mantis on accident by digging with my shovel, and you know what happened last time.
Oh,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, the regular mantis was a terror for me. I just could not get it for like 10 minutes before. I hope that doesn't help.
Yeah, another one of those.
Hope that doesn't help you. Yeah, it doesn't help you too much right now.
I maybe should have left some trees. Something else I found at some point, there can only be a maximum of 12 bugs spawned in at a time. And so that sort of informs what we do with the trees. We usually leave about 10 or so regular trees. And you'll see here, in this case, since all the other trees are down, I'm seeing a bug on pretty much every tree. And, I can scare them away, maybe run a little bit, and then come back, and there'll be more bugs. Up here, over here. So that's, a pretty efficient way to clean up these tree things that we need.
Yeah, one of the methodologies I use for that is pulling a weed when I ran away from the camera shot for things to spawn in. Counts as like an action that I've done, and because I noticed like when you spend a lot more time off screen, like say when you're chopping down half the coconut trees that you have, if you have the other half displaced, you see like all of them have a palm beetle on them, whereas sometimes you can't get more than one or two to spawn just running back and forth.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I mean, we spent a lot of time doing these runs, so it's that's all we really know is anecdotal stuff a lot of the time, but it definitely seems like there's a time element, like we were saying earlier. Some of the spawns. That was a scary horizontal catch, by the way, on that tree behind the house. I don't like keeping the trees behind the house, but I don't have too many, so I want to keep it for now. Luckily, the net has a pretty big hitbox, and the bugs have a what's the term? Favorable hitbox, I guess. I don't know. Friendly hitbox, yeah. It's not too hard to actually catch the things.
This is a good question. Do either of you casually play Animal Crossing at all when you're not speedrunning it?
Yeah, I played a fair amount of New Horizons, but yeah, it was my crutch to get through the times, when much like a lot of other people would say.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of similar. I played New Horizons a lot for sure when it first came out. And I mean, I've played every game in the series too, casually. I really enjoy it, but yeah, lately it's just mostly been the speedruns for the past couple of years, really.
Yeah, I played a ton of Animal Crossing GameCube and City Folk. Actually, I was actually opposite of you, Amber. You did a bunch of Wild World. I did some, but City Folk was my 10,000 hour game, pretty much like
Yeah.
5 digits for sure.
Yeah, I really I loved the GameCube one, and I played a lot of New Leaf when it came out, like so much New Leaf. And like I honestly firmly believe that New Leaf is probably, if I could have like some of the villager interactions interactivity from the GameCube version with the rest of New Leaf's mechanics, I would argue New Leaf would be like the best Animal Crossing, period. But that's just kind of my personal opinion.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it's a pretty. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say that. And yeah, it's very good. Maybe limited a little bit by being on the 3DS, but
Yeah.
it's got a lot going for it, which is pretty great.
Yeah, mechanically, I feel like it had a lot going for it. New Horizons has a lot going for it, but I don't know. I want to say for me, the crafting kind of, like, I love the furniture customization, but I feel like the crafting system just wasn't implemented in a way that, like, got my my happy brain chemicals going, honestly. But I love the aesthetic of the game and think there's a lot going for it in terms of like island customization. Like there's some amazing systems in it, but I don't think the crafting's one of them.
For sure. No, I completely agree. I mean, I definitely played it a lot, but I'm a bit of a hater, you could say. The tool durability really always infuriated me. It still does.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate because, I do like a lot about it, but it's enough to like really put me off of it,
Yeah, like I think my whole thing is like, how in the world are you gonna make golden tools a thing in New Horizons and still make them break?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah. Amen. And then the fact that, I don't know, I don't want to start, but the only other thing is that the multi-crafting never being a thing for me was like kind of unbelievable.
Yeah.
But
Like,
yeah.
I totally understand that, like, not being able to craft, like, for, like, consumables, like, bait, not being able to, like, craft a stack of them instead of, being forced to craft one at a time. There's definitely, like, little things that, like, just can kind of aggravate you or rub you the wrong way. Now,
For sure,
like,
yeah.
some folks are saying adding durability to things is usually a fun killer, and it's like, no, I've played a lot of Minecraft, for example, and like, while I wish that the tools didn't have durability, there are ways to get around a lack of durability. Like, there's called crafting better tools or getting the mending enchantment, stuff like that. Like, so, and then there's games like Stardew Valley that don't have tool durability either, but, yeah, like, I don't mind durability because some folks also mention it in Zelda, like Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. I don't really mind durability in those games. I'm in the minority there, but I do think that there are better ways to handle it.
Yeah, I guess I never really played the Zelda games, never really played Stardew Valley, so I don't really have other like reference points for it, really. Yeah, a lot of that stuff also is sort of exacerbated when you do like a speed run. So like, New Horizons, the Golden Rod speed run, you really feel it, how you have to, craft bait one by one over and over again to, optimally find the fish. And same thing with net too, to an extent, when, your net is breaking all the time, you gotta craft a new one. It's just like, I don't know, more annoying maybe than casually when you have the time, so it's whatever, but in the run, there's a little more urgency, I guess, to actually, get on with the bug catching.
At the same time, there's something really cool with the New Horizons net that you can get a feel for, which is just being comfortable with counting how many swings. If you know the exact durability, you can upgrade your flimsy net and flimsy axe right before it's going to break and refresh it entirely without having to craft a new one. So there's like an element you can optimize in that too if you're that good at multitasking to count exact things while you're quickly chopping everything down and catching X amount of bugs.
Yeah, I mean that is.
I didn't
cool.
quite get to that level, so yeah, that was the next step for me if I were gonna keep doing New Horizons Golden Net, which I'm interested in. I still definitely like that speedrun a lot. Ooh. Oh, Birkin Golden already. Without the regular trees done.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I need Hercules Golden and Elephant right now. I'm kind of getting some weird like nothingness. I feel like I may have missed some flowers, but I'm not sure.
Telling you gotta pick those weeds.
I should, because I'm getting. Oh, there's something weird.
My secret strat. I've been waiting to reveal it.
I'm gonna start trying it.
That's everything on the regular trees for me. It's actually kind of tough to tell. Multitasking moment. Yeah, okay. We're gonna get the spider and chop these down. I only have one more palm beetle. Oh, wow, that was fast.
You're getting a request for the bug tracker to be shown. You can just quickly show that on screen again.
This is a big part of a run where we catch a lot of things, so the number is going to change.
Assuming that number that you just changed down to Candy is accurate and you're not backstocked again.
Just a little bit.
We're currently tied if that number is accurate. With 15 remaining on both sides.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much in the exact same spot, I think. More or less. I have one more palm beetle to go.
Me too.
Yeah. That's crazy.
One palm beetle left. It's the elephant, actually, funny enough.
I need the Hercules. Yeah, there's a small rarity tiering within the palm beetles. It seems like Hercules and Golden are a little rarer than the other four.
All right.
Was that our elephant?
Yep, that was the elephant.
Amazing. All right, so now we are at 13 remaining out of the 64 on Candy's screen. 15 still on Drew's. This is getting very close.
Yeah, looking at the pace, maybe not the fastest, but it is very close.
Oh yeah, we are currently at a, let me double check here. We're at about 148.50. Ish.
Yeah, not
148.50. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a okay. I don't have the flea with that time, so in terms of our estimate, say it might get a little crunchy. Might get a little crunchy.
Yeah. That beginning segment. I mean, you got walled by the coconut very hard. I took a lot of time watering as well, so it does affect things later for sure.
For now, we're good though. In this segment, I only need Raha Brook, Queen or Birdwing. They're both mantises. Need the orchid mantis, which is a pretty rare bug, and then I need the on skater and diving beetle as well, and a flea. So lots to go in for me in this one. This is what there was a period a while ago where Drew was like, yeah, the birdwing butterfly might actually take us. It's one of the last bosses for sure. It can really wall run. I went 35 minutes without seeing one earlier this week, so yep, it can get tough.
Yeah, let's not hope for that. Because yeah, I mean, in terms of, well, I guess overall, it's the birdwing, the giant petal tail, and flea really are the main killers. Tarantula scorpion can cause problems too, but
Yeah,
at
those
this
are the
point,
three most.
yeah, those aren't as bad, I would say.
And if you've only played New Horizons, then the birdwing butterfly is Alexandria, or Alexandria's butterfly. I forget what it's called. Queen.
Queen Alexandria's
There's a queen in
birdwing?
there. Some,
Yeah,
yeah, birdwing.
something like that.
Oh, Tipper gave me the flea. Let's go.
Oh, there's the flea.
Now we have a race.
Now this is very close.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That was a huge, huge pickup. Oh my goodness, Raha broke up there too. This goated map refresh. And that's what I mean, like, we're cozy comfy until suddenly everything starts happening.
Yeah, I mean the flea alone can like really shift things.
Okay.
Oh, I'm missing a flower. Oh, I'm missing so many flowers. Did I not check over here? It's actually been a big problem here.
I need the diving beetle still, which is a weird one for sure. Because now I don't want to check the water.
I do have to say that some of the commentary here out of context is quite good. Like, the flea can really shift it and just...
Oh, you know what we did? We completely spaced the break that we were going to take. I just... And thinking about that, you know, fair sacrifice, I just scared away an orchid for that.
Oh.
Fair sacrifice. That is a huge miss. That might cost me a lot of time. Well, I was thinking about it, so... I guess we were too into it, too excited to pause. Or it's been too chill until this point.
I've been very chill, just chatting with chat and keeping things going while this race has been actually heating up quite a bit.
Yeah, even though Drew still needs those that last palm beetle, probably some of the things remaining for him are easier. Like he hasn't done the ant and the fly yet on the turnips, I assume. So that's 2 quick bugs for the most part that will happen for him. So he is a way to catch up really quickly here, a way to tie it up. 2 pond skaters and another Rafa. Okay.
Yeah, the two of you took very different routes at the start of this run, where for a while you were actually quite a fair bit behind at one point.
Yeah, I had only caught 2 bugs for like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really concerned with that because I knew we would have these chunks where, you know, you're just catching so many bugs in a row. It can be nice to get all those things along the way, but actually, you know, sometimes you could think about it as in, well, I have to pull my net out a bunch and then put it back away a bunch to catch all these things. So if you do everything, you know, together, you can minimize the menuing time, so to speak. So that's that could be another way to think about it.
For sure, yeah. I mean, the number isn't always like a complete indicator because there's other things like the number of trees you cut down, time spent doing that. So it sort of balances out at the end. Now, at this point, I'd say it is a decent indicator. Yeah, I finally made it out of coconuts.
You got it.
Yeah, so I'm leaf hunting right now, and then I'll be back to June, I guess.
That's why I was pretty happy about the walking leaf pickup. I got the thunderstorm day in late July, and that led to me being able to get the jewel beetle because I was at 8 a.m. and then I also found the leaf in that spot while I was trying to finish deforestation and go for the coconut. It was a weird makeshift way to make it work, and everything showed up when I needed it to.
Yeah, I also keep looking at the scorpion thinking it's a lobster. Oh my god. I was like looking for a while on the trackers, like, alright, where's the scorpion? I just see this red thing that looks like the lobster. Considering in game it looks very black or very dark brown.
The worst bug in the game, for those wondering, is we went over like the ones that are pretty bad, but the worst one in the game is almost surely the giant petal tail dragonfly. that one it shares some of the lowest spawn rates that exist in the game, but it's also amongst the bugs with some of the higher weights, like mosquitoes show up everywhere. There's also locusts. There's also the longhorn beetles on the tree stumps, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That can show up when we do that segment. Oh, I got the shop upgrade.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah.
So we do have a question
forward to get
around
it.
why we are upgrading the shop, because they did start from a fresh file. They did do the chores at the beginning of the run. So why is the shop upgrade important?
You want to get that one, Drew?
Sure. Yes. I mean, the first one is necessary because in Nook's Cranny, which is the original shop, he doesn't sell any axes, which, as you've seen, is a huge part of this route. So we need that one, no matter what. And then the second one is optional. You know, it's sort of circumstantial depending on what you have, what you catch, if you have enough money for it. But it can't help because, like I was saying earlier, in that upgrade, he sells 4 tools instead of 3 per day, which, in simpler terms, just increases your chance for the axe to show up if you still need some. So I guess Andy's kind of upgraded coincidentally, but for me, I kind of did it more intentionally because my axes weren't great at the beginning, and I figured I might as well, since I needed, a few more after I went forward. So it worked out pretty well.
Need this diving beetle to show up so I can just ignore the river from this point on and stay next to the flowers. Can't get it. I want to show up.
I've read this chat message and I feel like my soul has left my body thinking about how awful it'd be. I want a loading screen pedal tail to show the viewers what true pain feels like.
That's one of my most popular Twitch clips. I had the reaction face when it happened to me.
Oh no!
It's so sad. Like the world record got an early pedal tail, and my PB is approximately 5 minutes behind the world record. And the pedal tail took me 5 minutes in my run, so, and that's considered a pretty decent to, slightly above average pedal tail time. Like we have I use a whole split for it, just the pedal tail split. Like you're just hunting for it continuously. So it's a really significant bug. It's the only bug that I have a split solely for one single bug. So yeah, it's when it shows up on the title screen and you're just loading into the game, well, it's not going to be there when you get in the game. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it's a slap in the face. That's what it is.
It's, really painful. I mean, just to add to what you were saying, it's basically one of the few bugs that you really can't manipulate or control as well as the other ones. Because, even if you cut down all the trees and get rid of all the flowers, you're just going to be swarmed by mosquitoes in most cases at that time. So it's, there's not really much you can do about it, unfortunately.
There was a time where we thought that mosquitoes disappeared when you have your gates open to simulate an online environment, which means also you can't get tarantulas or scorpions as well. Mm-hmm. And that would theoretically make the pedal tail spawn a lot easier. A lot easier, like in spades almost.
And, I mean,
but
I think that is real.
Yeah, I think it is real, but you would have to use an alternate or a third-party server at this point to even connect to the internet to be able to do that, because you have to connect to the internet even to do local visits.
Local area network stuff.
Yeah. So I think as a result of that, we haven't really looked into making a rule around it, so to speak, but it's kind of just not done. We just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thought. It's something to explore, but I assume if we were to have an actual formal thing about it, it would still end up being disallowed.
Yeah.
Regular mantis. I wish I didn't scare that orchid away, but I still have the birdwing to go. So,
mm-hmm.
And the diving beetle, oddly enough. I think I can incur the Rafflesia on a rainy day to get the diving beetle. If I need to. Alright, Birdwing, I'm waiting for you.
Yeah, this is
actually...
Sorry, I think we were going to say the same thing.
Sorry.
This is really close.
Yeah, I was going to say it is actually wild how close this is, and also wild that you have to, like, incur the Rafflesia to be able to complete this category, rather than have a perfect town at any point.
Yeah, you don't have to do the Rafflesia, but if you have something that spawns a lot easier in the rain, once all the flowers and the trees are gone, then, like the Walking Leaf. The Walking Leaf is the one I usually would do that for, but I managed to get it early with an interesting route due to the coconut.
Oh, the purple beetle, or quote beetle that you see, that's not a beetle, I don't think. That's the tarantula.
Yeah, that is the tarantula.
Yeah.
That also has a split for a tarantula and scorpion. We typically do, kind of coinciding with the giant petal tail, because the giant petal tail, you don't need any flowers for it. It just spawns in the air. So typically we do it after we're done with everything that needs a flower, which I only have 2 things left. The orchid mantis and the birdwing. Oh, temple fish, what the heck. So once I get those 2, wow, that's a Walking Leaf up there, just randomly. That would have been nice if I didn't have it yet. I also have to get the firefly, so that's one more date change between Drew and I. I have to find the firefly, but that's a super common bug, so I'm not concerned about it. And we can go backwards easy. So at this point in the run and on, we're only going backwards in time. In fact, if I were to go forward 1 day right now, I would probably get the Rafflesia, because it's that close. That's how close this run is, this route, to not working and also to working. The fact that one more date change could just be what causes the Rafflesia to show up and make you lose like several minutes to clearing out the weeds in a certain area. You don't have to clear out your entire town, but just a little bit is enough, like the acre and a little bit around the acre that the Rafflesia is in, is enough to actually get it to wilt. So we did a little bit of investigation on that, because it was possible, or theory crafted, that we could use the golden or silver axe to chop down every tree without worrying about durability. We haven't done that route yet because it requires a lot more things to go right. And there's actually you could get a faster time without the golden axe than you could with a perfect run. So the theoretical ceiling of the world record would be reached without it. So it hasn't been a serious effort. But that's why we looked into Rafflesia. We used to think we had to pull every weed in the town for it to go away.
Yeah, I would have definitely been led to believe that as well.
Like Pond Skater number 8 with no diving beetle.
I need a pond skater still. That's kind of funny.
You want to share?
We could
Share
trade
your bugs.
Yeah, swap a
let's do
diving
some
beetle,
trading.
maybe. I've seen at least a few. This is, I don't know exactly how you're doing it, but we may have slightly different setups here for birdwing. I normally like to spread my flowers across a few acres like this and go back and forth between these 2 buildings to just reload and hope it spawns one of these times, basically.
Yeah, I should probably do that and spread them out a little more, because I'm already running across multiple acres to cross the river and look for a diving beetle. So I should make the whole stretch of that run have spawns in it. I was hoping to confine it to just the left side, and not have to look at the river anymore. But I can't get a diving beetle to show up right now. Because once I do, I'm not gonna run as far.
Because it's weird, like, because we don't know completely how exactly the bugs spawn. Like, if you do put all the flowers in one spot, you do get a lot of spawns, but it's also a little strange in terms of like if you go in and out too close to the flowers, it seems like more often there's nothing on them. Whereas if you run between acres or take some more time outside, you get more spawns. So it's kind of a feel thing sometimes, the way you set it up and the way it plays out. Yeah, unfortunately, this is the optimal way to do it. Just it's fairly repetitive for some of these rare ones.
Yeah, in this format, we're really just hoping that when we have to go in and out of buildings to reset the map, the most optimal way to refresh, 8 to 10 bug spawns, that things will show up quickly in a marathon setting. So if they don't, yeah, it can look like this. But once they do, it immediately your eyes are attentive once again to the screen. You're like, oh man, what's gonna happen? All right, I've spread all mine out. Now I forgot to look for the diving beetle, the classic. Don't laugh at me. Come on now.
It happens. Yeah, I'm trying to look. It's so similar. We have almost exactly the same things, really.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of the big
again.
bosses. Yeah.
The Firefly is the weird one between us, I think. And you also have the Orchid, whereas I don't. But you need the Raha, right?
I got the Raha at this point. I do need the Tarantula, though, I guess. It's the only...
I have only the Scorpion, so no Tarantula for
I guess
me.
the Scorpion, yeah.
Oh my goodness, look at the river. Why am I forgetting? I'm so set on the Birdwing now. Diving Beetle is not a problem. If I get the Birdwing, I'm out of here. I just... it would be nice to get along the way. Yeah, like at this point, you're inclined to say that, oh, it's a slot machine, it's all RNG, but like to get to this point requires a very large amount of improvisation, understanding all the times, knowing all the times everything's available, and reacting essentially to the set of things you're given by RNG.
Yeah, like you have to understand how to work
like
it. Yeah, you have to understand how to work that RNG. Like, to say the run is entirely RNG is still true, but you have tools and knowledge and mechanical means of manipulating some of that or influencing it a little. And that can make or break the run, obviously, because as you had described earlier, the estimate is almost a full hour longer than the world record run. And that's simply because you need so many things to go right. For
sure. Yeah, I mean, Andy mentioned the early pedal tail in that run is probably a 1 in 100 type thing. Where we're gonna go to August 5 p.m. for the best chance, but there's a small chance it shows up at September 5 p.m. when we were just catching a couple crickets and moving on basically. And so that's, I mean, probably the single luckiest thing that can happen in a run is to get that early. And then that run just had so much going right for it. Instant hybrid, good axes, coconut no problem. So it all needs to add up for a time like that for sure.
Agreed. Yeah, it is very straightforward. Between us at this moment, we only need the Birdwing Butterfly. And this segment, the August 5 p.m. pedal tail segment, which I also catch a mosquito during that, and then we do the Tarantula Scorpion segment. Since we both have the flea, it's come down to that. I've seen 3 Agrias, multiple bandits. Oh, there she is. All right.
Big lady.
Okay, I don't have the Orchid, though. I scared it away, and I haven't found another one. I also don't have the diving, so I might actually stay here a little longer. But that was the big one for sure. The Orchid is probably 2 times more common than the Birdwing. I don't remember if it's also, or maybe it's 4 times more common.
Something like that. Yeah, I'd have to take a look.
Yeah.
I'm getting overly excited seeing things like the Birdwing, but not just spawning on screen.
Regular mantis getting trolled. No.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know.
Another bandit just watching hundreds of thousands of bells passes by. Another Agrias. Well, everything's spawning now, so theoretically we'll just find it right now.
I'm seeing.
Yeah, the moment I get the Orchid, I think I'm going to leave here. But there's other dates to get the Orchid, too. I should mention this, since right now I'm only looking for an Orchid Mantis, the white Mantis that's on the tracker. I could do that in November, which is theoretically a little bit better for spawning it well. But today is not November, and today has an orchid, so glad I didn't change the date.
Yo, let's
There we go. Everything on the flower is done for me. The petal tail, it doesn't care. It can make or break the entire run. So we can spend... I have spent 45 minutes looking for the petal tail before. So,
Oh god.
yeah, it's bad.
Oh, she's cooperating. She wants it to be close. Holy crap.
Wow.
That's
Oh, there
I
she
mean, I don't know how long
is.
we were there. I guess that's maybe like average-ish. We were
Yeah.
there pretty considerable time, but
No diving beetle, so yeah, revelation for me.
man.
No diving beetle. Are you done with the butterfly segment?
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Oh no! So we're entering petal tail at the same time. Is that what's happening here?
This
I
is
think I'm
such
gonna
a close
do-
race.
I'm gonna do this tarantula scorpion first because I'm a little more concerned about those.
Okay, like
'Cause,
nerves wise, or
Yeah, because I mean, to this point, the skill of actually catching the bugs isn't really needed. You can kind of just walk up and catch these things. You got to be slow, for some of the tree things. But tarantula and scorpion, you can mess up for sure.
yes,
If
yeah.
you
I
do
was
the wrong
scared with
thing.
my scorpion. It was on the sign. Like you can just swing your net, hit the sign, and the scorpion will sting you.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to get the firefly, so I'm going to be in. Oh my gosh! I rolled into rain instantly. How is that even possible?
Late June, early June.
Yeah, late June.
Oh,
I should go early June.
Yeah.
Is the firefly? Do you know the weight of it in early June? Same.
I want to say it's the same. I think it should be the same.
I've never seen 3 rainy June nights. That is ridiculous luck.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, 'cause that's weird. The same as
I'll
before.
try the 12th. How do I keep roll? I've never rolled 3 of them before. The firefly has never taken 2 minutes off of my run before. It's an extremely common bug.
Yeah,
Actually, hilarious.
You need a lot to go wrong, I guess, for that. I don't know what the rain chance is in late June. Probably like 30 to 50. I don't know, something like that. But it's not right. I think you went to June 29th too. We usually give ourselves 2 days.
Yeah.
Or as long as you don't get rain at least one of the days, you're good. You can just get the firefly, but I guess you run the risk. You can do like 3 days if you want, but
Here's the firefly. Nice. So someone is asking, this is the first time watching one of these. Well, welcome aboard to Hotfix. How late do they usually run? Is there one more speed run after this? Unfortunately, there won't be another run after this one tonight, but we are usually live. You can check out the schedule for today's broadcast via the link that our producer just posted, or you can check out Hotfix, gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. You can see the full list of all our shows, our full schedule. We have tons and tons of shows every single day, usually starting at 7 p.m. Eastern through... like we have a show that starts at 7. My show usually starts at 10 p.m. and can run as late as 1 or 2 in the morning. So if this kind of schedule works out for you, give us a follow, keep watching us, or you can always catch our, if you've missed out on any of our other Hotfix shows, maybe you want to go back and watch past episodes of Passion Project, or you want to check out other shows that we've had in the past, be sure to check out our VODs over at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. So that's a cool thing. And if you also want another marathon to watch, we do have a weekend event that's going to be raising for money for Doctors Without Borders this Saturday and Sunday. It's going to be part of Twitch's Together for Good initiative. So if you come by here at twitch.tv/gamesdonequick this weekend, you can check out our marathon and use the / schedule in Twitch chat to check out those runs.
oh, yeah. So I just caught a scorpion.
Ooh.
During that I probably shouldn't have caught that. Honestly, it was like really close.
I
Because
saw the net swing.
Yeah,
it was
it was-
very, very wide.
I was surprised. Cause yeah,
I'm-
yeah.
I'm also doing the arachnids first before Battle Tail so we can match.
So we both need tarantula, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I also need the mosquitoes here. I guess I'll just catch it.
Mm.
And I need the moth. So now we're gonna tie up our bug counts here because those are two really easy things to catch. Mosquito moth.
I mean, these tarantula scorpions. The basic method is just to run around, scare longhorn beetles off of the stumps, and scare away moths to sort of generate spawns and hope you get a tarantula scorpion. And that, is better than petal tail because you can at least sort of do something actively to help yourself with generating more spawns, but it still can be troublesome, especially if you catch one and you keep seeing the same one. It's like, oh man, can I just have the other one? Because they're both equally likely. And it definitely requires more concentration, I guess, because the interesting thing about these, maybe you can hear it at home too, but you can hear them if they're walking at a pretty reasonable distance. And that sort of alerts you to, be careful and, look for them because their behavior is a little weird. Andy kind of touched on it earlier, but if you're carrying any other tool aside from the net or just nothing, and you get too close to them, they'll get like scared basically, and they'll start to run away, and they can run anywhere. And when they're in that state, if you take the net out, they'll turn around and start chasing you. And so that's how I caught that scorpion earlier. I was running like this, I scared it, and I sort of lined up and took my net out and then caught it as it ran at me. And that's usually preferable than running around with your net out, because if you do that and you get within their sort of aggro radius, they'll come right at you immediately. And most of the time, they're just gonna get you before you can
react to him.
Even react. Yeah. It is quite scary.
Yeah, those suckers are fast when you're not ready for it.
Funny enough, like half the time I spent playing City Folk was just a fascination with these bugs because they're so I don't know, it's like bounty hunting. Like you just have to get them or they get you. It's so scary. So I just played but doing this because this is so entertaining to me as a kid. Weird fascination for sure. But I have a lot of experience with these things. Mm-hmm. And they still get me like that. I was not expecting that stump bug to be down there and also scare away, so it made me jump.
Yeah, I mean, for this run, at least for me, I think this is the most, or I don't know if it's my favorite. It probably is. It is the one segment that tests you more than the others, and you have to, you gotta just do it.
If you ever see us like stop or slow down and we only have one person's audio up, then we might be slowing down too because we hear a tarantula or scorpion, or I guess just the tarantula at this point. Mm-hmm. We're slowing down so we don't scare it, because it is easier to sneak up on it than it is to time a chase most of the time.
For sure, yeah. Because the agitation is based on speed. So even if you have your net out, if you just walk slowly toward them, they won't really notice you. So you can just walk up and catch it, which I assume Andy did earlier.
Yeah. Wow, I'm getting extraordinarily unlucky. I haven't even seen a single one yet. Scorpion or...
Yeah, I've seen the one so far. I've got a couple people inside with their light on, which is kind of weird.
Do you go to 3:40 a.m. or further?
Oh no, does that? I guess
there's some people. I think there's some people that go in at 3:20 or 3:30 or so. So I assumed it was every 20 minutes, maybe. I only have one dude outside.
That makes sense.
Oh my goodness, there he is. That was right on the cliff. Wire on the cliff. I almost scared it off. Well, now I have to catch this going up.
Okay. That was faster than I remember.
Yeah, he should have fallen off the cliff there, and then I would have had to do a weird cliff catch. And the thing with tarantulas and cliff catching is you got to get it close enough to where they can't like lip over and get you. But you also have to be far down enough to catch it, or you're just going to swing at air. And the cliff method is really good for casuals, but the problem with the tarantula is if you keep it in the same place and swing at it enough times, it's going to stop moving. And when it stops moving, and you move far away enough again, it'll actually jump when it aggroes you again. So it does this weird, like, slow looking crawl, and it'll actually just, like, instead of following you side to side, he'll just kind of look at you. And then if you run away enough, he'll actually jump over the cliff and get you. So I did not want to do the cliff method just in case that happens, or I get too far down and he kind of clips over the cliff and gets me. So I had to go with the aggro, and that was a little scary.
Yeah, especially
So
from
now-
that perspective. That perspective is really, really rough to deal with.
Yeah, I did top to bottom, so he was north of me. That's a really tough one.
Oh.
But I'm kind of comfortable with that one, so I just went with what I had. Okay, now I'll be silent so Drew can hear him too.
Ooh, oh, that was scary.
Okay.
Is it actually? Oh my gosh.
I thought you had missed for a second because it looked like it slid under your net, and I was like, no.
Yeah, it's really scary. You don't want to do that if you can avoid it, but a lot of the time you just run right on top of it. All right, I have to go backwards today.
So now we're both looking for the hardest bug to get in the game due to
Are you
factors previously discussed.
are you also looking for the diving beetle?
I still have to get the diving beetle. That's just another date change for me. I'm going to go all the way forward back to 2028 on a rainy day. Raffle is just going to show up, which is fine. It's going to be raining, so I can't get any flies. And then I'll just go up and down the river. I should get it pretty quickly.
Okay.
I don't think it'll be bad at all. So this is a virtual tie.
Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, it's one where the...
Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, I just got so lucky, dude. It's one where the order matters because Rafflesia won't affect the diving beetle, but it will affect the pedal tail.
Oh, there it is.
Did you get it?
I just got it in.
Yeah, holy crap.
Wow.
GG.
GG. That was really close. I even had a minute extra to look around.
They're like literally outside of my house.
You'll take it. You'll take it.
Am I back?
Yeah, I think you are.
Oh my god.
Could
Now
not
I get to watch it
contain.
happen. Man, you got it in the best spot
I
possible,
mean,
too.
I almost messed it up still.
Like,
Because, yeah, they can...
it had nowhere to
No.
go. Yeah, you want it at the bottom layer of the town, because if it's on the top, it goes so fast that you can just lose it. And it'll despawn if it gets far away enough from you. Well, instant pedal tail. If that's that's the way I lose, then yeah, definitely I will lose the race to that every time for the world record holder.
Yeah, and that's
Also,
that's
there's
GG on
the time.
fist pump.
There's time. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, pedal tail going that well, there's nothing you can do. That's just crazy.
I was really happy it didn't come down to the flea though, because the flea ending is a little bit rough to get through when you're just going in and out of a house every 3 seconds.
Yeah,
But this is exciting, running
That
around
was-
town and trying to find it.
that was unbelievable, man. Wow.
That time was. I'm just watching back the replay. That was a 1:23:49.
2:23.
Oh, sorry, 2:23.
2:23.
Yeah, I have no
it's
sense of
world record.
time.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like we were saying earlier. The pace wasn't really great, but that ending was. I couldn't really ask for much more after the birdwing, especially. That was pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
I mean, not having to worry about flea was just huge, really.
Same. I can't believe it came down to that. I even had the chance to get it too. I've had
Oh.
right out of the house pedal tails too.
I mean, it makes all the difference in the world. If you're going for a PB, it
Yep.
can save you from so many things that go wrong previously.
There's still the chance I can finish underestimate, which is what I want. But like I said, 45 minutes for the pedal tail has happened to me before, and this is the best we got. This is the best we got. So I'll go until the estimate. See if we can get this this thing to show up. 7 minutes is still a reasonable time to get one.
Mhm.
So as harsh as that sounds, it is true. And then, well, the diving beetle's pretty straightforward. That's just a minute and a half at the end, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get this pedal tail.
I caught a second one. I think I reached a good time for pedal tails.
Oh my god.
This, I mean, it's just an example of how variable this category can really be in the end. There's just so much.
So, what date and time?
Oh my god. you
August
have
21st, 5 p.m.
I'm at the 22nd, as always.
One
As
day
always,
late. What a shame.
22nd doesn't pay off, yeah. Oh, unbelievable. 2 paddle tails. That's just a slap in the face. That's almost as bad as seeing the one on the loading screen. What am I supposed
Oh
to say
god.
to that? Yeah.
There's just nothing. On that loading screen note, there was one time I was doing a run. I wanted to switch sections because I couldn't find a pedal tail. And then as I hit save, the pedal tail just flew on my screen. So that was
Oh.
my worst pedal tail moment. Never seen a title screen though. That's quite rare.
That's all me. Thinking about it. Sometimes I go around here and I catch a few bugs, like a few mosquitoes that show up, and that generates another spawn slot that could be a pedal tail before I refresh the map. But typically I refresh the map because mosquitoes don't despawn unless you run to like the exact opposite corner of the map, and then maybe they might. So they're pretty annoying. That's why we do the occasional map reset by going in and out. I do I do a full circulation of the town before I try again, and it's very possible. Oh, okay. Well, it's very possible to get one that doesn't. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, that was so risky. Whew. I was on the top area. The river's right up there. I could have easily lost that.
Oh my god. I'm trying to.
All right,
I'm on a little
underestimate.
delay.
I think it's, what is it, 227.50 right now? Because I'm also on delay. 228.
We're at about 228.
Oh goodness. Okay. Takes 50 seconds to reload and get the golden net. I'd have to catch this thing really quick, and it can also troll me. Alright, Rappellation. I might be just barely over S. But also, we technically submitted this as a 235, maybe?
Mhm.
So, can I get like the... we didn't take the break, so maybe I don't get it.
Mm.
I'm so close to the estimate, no.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, diving beetle should show up. You'll see a lot sooner or later on a rainy day with no trees up. It depends if it cooperates, because they can be really annoying.
Yeah,
You know,
they're
going underwater
above and below the water surface, yeah, and they also run around like the pond skater does. Can also be in ponds, so I'm gonna check that next. But you can see there's flowers now, so I could get a bunch of my spawns snails as well, which could make this really annoying. I think I missed it, just barely though. Because yeah, at this point it's gonna take me the time to get to 230 to reload for the golden net.
Oh yeah, maybe with the delay.
Oh, there it is. Come on.
What?
Okay.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah, that was it. That was it being underwater. Right, I have an empty spot. July 1st isn't a holiday, right?
Shouldn't be.
Okay. Yeah, and then we just have to do a quick reload. I just barely missed it. No.
Oh.
Dude, Amber, you're supposed to cut me off. You'll be like, well, that's it. That's all. You don't get the golden.
But I want to see you get the golden net. Like, I
About
could
to.
mercy kill you, but also, you know, I'm definitely happy to see this run finish. Everyone had a lot of good time. Yeah, everyone had a great time in chat. I am good at words, I swear.
There we go.
Time's coming up on the fist pump or fist bump from Blue Candy over here.
And time.
GG.
Nice.
Everyone was actually like super tense. Like that race was very tense until the very end.
I can't really believe it.
The pedal toe could have easily taken him out, but it
was literally the only difference. Yeah, I mean, crazy for a run so variable. Yeah, that was really great.
Do y'all have any shout outs you'd like to make as we start to wrap things up? I also want to just say thank you both for being on tonight. It's been a lot of fun watching this.
Yeah, I mean...
yeah. You go ahead.
Sure, I mean, thank you for having us. It's been great. My only shout out is if you're interested, we have an Animal Crossing Speedruns Discord. All very helpful, as there's a third pedal tail.
Oh my god!
No way.
It's a really easy speedrun to get into. A lot of people are fans of the series, and it's just a different, unique way to play a game that you've never played before. And we're always looking for new runners. Very helpful, so check it out if you're interested. That's about it for me. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I agree. I think this game has one of the greatest potentials to expand in terms of people who would enjoy speedrunning it, because there are so many people who know Animal Crossing but don't. I saw in the chat several times, like, how do you speedrun this? How can you speedrun? But it's a thing that you think about because it's a Nintendo game. You see a ton of speedruns of Nintendo games, especially if you're in these communities and adjacent to them. So it's the one game that having a display like this and a wonderfully done race by Drew that would, hopefully open the eyes of so many that this is really nice and chill and easy to do once you just know the bugs and know the dates. Essentially, you just run around and have fun. I think this is the best speedrun in Animal Crossing. So big shouts to everyone who has done a run of this already, as well as the JP community. I see you guys watching. Shouts to Japan. And if you enjoyed this run, feel free to follow both Drew and I. I saw the shout outs. I see the pinned message. Thank you guys for watching this and chilling with us late at night. And Amber, thank you for hosting. It was a great run that I hope to see maybe make its way to a main GDQ, as this race format is absolutely stellar for it, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been a lot of fun, and honestly, even with an estimate of 2.5 hours, it's a mix of cozy. It can get really, really tense towards the end if you're both on good pace, at least relative to each other. And just honestly, thank you both so much for being here. And shout outs to the Animal Crossing community. I'd love to see more Animal Crossing speedruns. So if you are an Animal Crossing speedrunner and you do other categories, submit them to my show. You can use the ! Passion command in chat and be able to follow the link to my submission form. And if you missed out on any other Hotfix shows, check out our VODs over on our YouTube at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. We do have our Frame Fatales series events. It has the Frame Fatales community has its next event, Frost Fatales, that's coming up March 3rd through the 10th of next year. Use !FF in Twitch chat, or go to gamesdonequick.com/Frame Fatales for more information. If you're maybe if you get into the Animal Crossing community, maybe you can submit to that. And then lastly, your Prime subs, your Twitch subs, gift subs, bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel, they all help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. So if you enjoy watching speedruns daily, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're watching this on YouTube, speaking of which, be sure to press the like button on this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And go to twitch.tv/Games Done Quick to watch our shows live. And if you tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, you'll be able to catch The First Step, followed by Think Fast. Until then, though, please look after yourselves and your loved ones. Drink some water, stretch your legs, eat a snack, take your medicine or your vitamins if you need to, and remember that you are valid and deserve all the best. Send all of this wonderful, positive energy over to our raid target for tonight, and have a great rest of your night. Bye.